Hey everyone, it's Andy with Imagine All the Beauty, and it has been just about a week since the garden tour, but there have been so many changes that I wanted to take you through again and also get some of your feedback. So please leave your comments and suggestions and all of your love, and please watch to the end for some great pics of some of the blooms. Thanks, guys. Hey everyone, so I think the last garden tour I tried to do a proper scanning of the backyard so that you could kind of see just the length of it. It's kind of a triangle shape, but I think I held my camera in a odd position, and so it caused the quality of the video to be a little less than what I'd like. So it makes for interesting mowing of the grass for sure. I just mow in triangles, I feel like. And it makes it interesting. The tree makes it very interesting for shade. So trying to find plants that love shade, because as you can see, let me get out of the patio here, it covers the majority of the backyard. There's a very small area where you see the raised garden bed. That's where we get the majority of our sun. So it's interesting though still to see what has done well this year, but there's also been a lot of sun. So updates. So let's talk about updates. I don't know if we had all of these blooming, but the purple are really starting to come through. These are the Mexican petunias. They're just so pretty. I'll put some pics up, a little compilation of pictures up too, at the end of this video of the blooms that we look at that have been updated. So we have a marigold bloom here. This is off of the marigolds that I planted by seed. And these just will not bloom. So this is now trying to become a bloom. I'm actually seeing blooms for the first time. So that's exciting. All those other blooms again are from transplants, from starters from Home Depot or Lowe's. So I wanted to talk to you guys though a little bit about this Gardenia plant, because I'm not sure everything has gotten too much water, so you're going to see a lot of yellowing like you do here with the Asian lettuce mix. But this I'm just really concerned about, and we're about to get a lot of rain today and like for the next day. So I don't know, I just don't want it to die on me. I hope to have it well established, and it's been in the ground for a couple of months before, you know, the frost comes in, which isn't for me in zone 8A. That's not until December 1. So, you know, I've still got some more time. I'm just hoping to have it hang on, but there's not much I can do about the rain. This is the nice thing though about having things in containers, because if they do, you can still move them. See, this is why I don't like planting things in the ground. It's too big of a commitment for a first-time gardener. But I did want to speak on that too, that, you know, when you put things in containers, it really allows you to test out where that plant is going to do well without committing, right? So that's why you see a lot of, just in my setup here in the garden, of containers first, set amongst things that are in the ground. And that's because I'm really testing first to see how that plant is going to behave. How it's going to grow, if it's going to reproduce, if it looks like it's not blooming enough, or if it's getting too much light, and then I have that option to move it. So I just encourage you to, you know, start with containers if you have to. Read first to make sure that, you know, it can be something that can be grown in a container. But I've also heard a lot of YouTubers just say, you know what, just do it anyways, just plant it, just see. But I don't know about carrots. Things that have to have their roots, that cannot have their roots disturbed, I would just be careful about. That's just my opinion. So the Asian lettuce mix, really not an update here, except that it just continues to go crazy. I did buy 2 new plants that I wanted to show you. I will link where I bought these. It's near Canton, Texas. I think it's in Edom, Texas. It's I think it's called Blue Moon Nursery. I hope I'm not just completely messing up the name of the nursery, but they really have stuff that I don't always see everywhere else, especially at just my local shop. So this is a Philippine violet that I just purchased. Again, it's supposed to take shade well, so I'm trying just to see how it will do here. It would only get morning sun and then very little sun after that. So I think it might do well. The trumpet vine that I talked about in the last garden tour video, I mentioned how it won't bloom, and I'm trying to get it to come towards the sun, and just look. Now it's blooming, but only where sun gets in. So just a few spots around. So again, I'm trying to take this trumpet vine here really and teach it to grow out this way so that it'll start to bloom, and it has. Look at that. I mean, that's proof. That's pretty crazy. I moved the parsley and thyme over here just again to see how it would behave and react to being under the tree. So it's kind of similar to being under the patio. There's really not going to get much sun at all. So it's been doing well though so far. And I'll be, as soon as I just told you guys that this thing never blooms because it's not in full sun, I get some blooms. It's so funny. So notice we've got some really pretty blooms here on this Texas sage. They're just so pretty. They stand out right against that really light green color that's just gorgeous. The other second plant that I just recently purchased is called a copper rain lily. I'm really excited about this little guy here. It puts off, and when I purchased it, it already had little bitty like apricot colored blooms. So that's really exciting. It's supposed to only put off little blooms when it rains. So I'm excited. I don't know if I'm supposed to do something with these little guys right here, if I'm supposed to deadhead them or leave them. I need to do some more research, but these are native to my area. And I've read mixed reviews on if they can handle wet soil, dry soil, but I see wetlands everywhere in descriptions surrounding these when I look them up. I think that's probably just typical for most rain lilies, but these are perennials. They'll come back and they're just very dainty. I'm trying to really create a more of a, I don't know, an English type of just very relaxed garden. So I want it to be a little whimsical and peaceful if it can be. That's the goal anyways. And this honeysuckle has really just taken off and started blooming. I think during the garden tour there were just only a few blooms, but here recently it has really taken off. And when I come into the backyard, I smell it immediately. So if you're looking for something that's highly fragrant and of course attracts the pollinators, you know, I wouldn't put it right next to your door. But it definitely does attract the pollinators, and it smells amazing. So if you want that whiff of sweet smell every time you walk out your door, it's great. I'll tell you too, on a little bit of a grosser subject, but if you've got neighbors who have animals and they deposit in the backyard behind you, and if you're trying to look for not a windbreaker but a smell breaker, you know, these are great. These are what you want, right? That would be a great addition because it's going to get much larger, as you can see, and when the wind blows, it's going to blow that sweet smell into your backyard. See, I'm always thinking about stuff like that. You got to think about stuff like that. One of the things that we didn't touch on last time is the wandering Jew that I have here. This was a transplant from my parents, and I've actually placed it here to protect some little critters living underneath the pool. But it just puts off the prettiest little blooms, as you can see here. And it's just beautiful. It's really done well here. Again, it's in complete shade for the most part. I mean, it gets sun, but not, you know, a full amount of it. So it's just been a great border. I love it. I hope it takes over this entire area. We're looking to do some work and putting in a bunch of stepping stones here and build this all out and pave it out and dig it out. So that's going to take some time, but until then, this has, I think, been a great addition to also even kind of stop some of the water erosion that we have going on. So no big updates here for the hibiscus or the cannas. We haven't seen any additional blooms on these. I haven't planted anything in the watermelon patch yet. I guess I'll stop calling it a watermelon patch once I plant something there. But nothing there yet. I'm still waiting for the stuff in the raised bed and see how it goes, see if I need to thin anything out. Or you know what, I bet I really need to plant the pumpkins in here. I'll show you the update from the seeds that we planted here also. I finally have flowers on my carnival plants that I planted from seed. So that's exciting. I planted from seed in a container and then moved them here once they were big enough. And I'm really excited that we've got flowers because that means we may get some fruit soon. The candy cane bell pepper's doing really well. They're just getting bigger and bigger. Look at that. And they're so pretty. That natural sheen that they have to them is just gorgeous. So pretty. And they're everywhere on this bush. I need to come in and harvest. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and take these. I'm gonna go and take some of these big ones because we could eat these tonight. There we go. They're just beautiful, aren't they? So pretty. Let's see if we've got some more. No, we'll let those go. Okay. And check out Big Bertha. Big Bertha is just doing great. I wanted to show you, this is Big Bertha here. I wanted to show you the one pepper that we have on Big Bertha right now. Let's see here, because it's getting really big. Ooh, there it is. It's doing so well. All right, so pretty. It's getting so big. I'm trying to move these leaves back so I can show you without breaking any other plants around. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous and getting so big. So that's exciting. The Santa Fe Grande hot peppers still just keep reproducing. I wish I knew of some folks who wanted to do a seed exchange. You know, I can't promise that there won't be cross-pollination because I'm not watching for that sort of thing. And if you haven't researched cross-pollination, it's basically like where you just won't get that, you know, pure seed, that you could get something that's a cross between a hot pepper and a sweet pepper. It's really crazy how cross-pollination works. So I look forward to looking into that more, but the cherry peppers are still doing great too. You can see the little flowers here on those also right here. And then you can also see just more cherry peppers coming up here. But we've got the red ones you can see down here. I need to come in and pick these too. Here we go. And then you can see the Serranos are just crazy. They're everywhere. They're all over the plant. They've just continue to do great all season. So no updates except more growth there. My okra plant that I transplanted is just doing so well. It's finally had some flowers. It's more upright now. I noticed too, it's really starting to take hold, I think, in the ground and root upright. So we've got some more flowers coming here, but it's just doing so well. It's so fun to watch. No updates really for the the hummingbird area. The zinnias, the lobelia are just taking over. They just keep blooming. I've got so many zinnias. Look at all the little yellow ones back in here. They are super cute. Lots of bright pink ones here, bright pink ones in the front too. And of course, it's starting to rain. I don't think I mentioned the yucca plant. Maybe I did. This was a transplant from years ago. I've had it for years. It puts off, of course, this beautiful spike with its seed pods. If you've never checked out those seed pods, they are crazy to look at. Oh, here you go. Here's one right here. And inside, the seeds are so crazy. Let's see if I can break this open with my finger and show you guys. I don't think I can. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Look at all these little seeds, guys. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? So if you want a yucca plant and you'd like some seeds, just let me know. Yeah. So these little spikes are gorgeous. They are big pollinator attractors as well. The bees love them. Sedum's still doing the same. Sweet potato vine's still doing the same. The ornamental peppers are doing great. I think they like the cooler weather. I think everything likes the cooler weather. It's just been too hot here. It's been too hot, and then we've got too much rain all at once. So notice all the yellow in my raised bed. It makes me sad. But I think I also misspoke and called this collards, and I think it's cabbage and not collards. But maybe you can tell me. I used my Picture This app that I told you guys about, I think, in the last video, and it says it's cabbage. So, but the chocolates in each corner, excuse the background noise, they are doing really well. They just seem to love everything. They're okay with everything. The okra's still doing good. They're just not getting tall to me. They're not getting larger. And I also, you know, but there's new growth, at least on the squash. They're doing well, but the yellowing just on everything concerns me. And like I said, we're getting more rain right now. So the arugula is doing great, or London rocket. So it's funny, if you use the Picture This app, it will tell you, you know, of course, like the technical name, right, for the plant. And it's funny, of course, what they're called, you know, in the US versus other places. So in London, I believe they call this rocket, but it's arugula, and you will think it's a weed and you'll pull it out. So be careful when you start to grow it. It looks like a dandelion weed to me. We got a street sweeper coming along. So again, apologies for the background noise. But these, I'm really excited about. They have taken off from the last video. I was excited to show you guys the updates on these guys. The flower of the hour has still not bloomed. This was a transplant. This is not something I planted. At least I don't think I did on purpose. And I researched this one some more too on the Picture This app, and it's supposed to only bloom when the sun is out. So these blooms, it looks like they've been sitting here ready to bloom for so long, but the sun has not been out enough, I think. So this little okra plant still is doing well. It just requires so much water. I think that's the one thing to always keep in mind when you're container planting, is they're going to need so much more water than everything else. You just got to keep a closer eye on them. The Cox Comb is still doing well. We got one that kind of rotted out here, I think from the, again, too much rain. It's looking in bad shape, but these other guys are starting to look a lot better. And just huge. They're huge. And then these little new guys are great too. I love them. They're so pretty. This squash plant is, or squash, I said that last time too, I believe. This okra plant just continues to fill out. I need to do some research on pruning. And that's really true for all of my plants. I really don't know how to prune most anything except to have, you know, deadhead marigolds, that sort of thing. So I think I should probably come through and maybe thin out some of these leaves so they don't take it so much water. That would also probably help with it being in a container. But I'm just not going to risk putting it in the ground like I did the other okra plant that I showed you over here. Because look at how large this one is. And let me just tell you, I planted this one months before I did this one. So, you know, will it survive? Yes, it may. Mine did. But you're going to see a growth difference for sure. I've had no okra on that other plant. And I haven't, of course, on this one yet either. But it looks like it may even start to produce flowers. And this one over here, like I mentioned, just started to produce flowers. Okay, so green beans here, no updates. I harvested about 7 from them yesterday and just harvested for them for their seeds, right? Not much you can do with 7 green beans. But, you know, we've got, let's see here. This is 1, 2, 3, 6, like 6 green bean plants right here. So if they don't, right, that was a bad job there. But so if we don't get these working soon, they're going to come out and something else will go in. Speaking of something else, let's go ahead and just look at the seeds that I planted in the progress. So look at these are the seeds from the seed video if you watched it. So these, of course, are the pumpkins. You can see how large they are, right? And then, you know, I planted broccoli and bunching onions and turnips, radishes, basil. There's all sorts of things in here. But aren't they all just the cutest little things you've ever seen? And lots of basil. Basil, I have realized, and I wanted to show you guys this. This is hilarious to me, how easy basil reseeds. You hear about it, but it's funny when it starts to happen to you. You're like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, basil's everywhere. So this is my basil plant right here. So it's fallen and dropped those seeds. But look at what else it's done. This is just a pile of dirt, of trash. And it has started to grow in the pile of trash. Do you see that little guy? He's growing in the pile of trash, in the dirt. That's all they need, just a little dirt and rain. The trumpet vine is still doing really well. The Turk's cap, I've really had to try to tie back because the water just weighs them down, and then the poor hibiscus just gets shoved to the side. The hibiscus is over here. So just trying to kind of maintain all of this here and keep it pushed back and upright. So you can see I've got a really large stick right here and then a T-post kind of holding that stick into place. I'm sure I could tie it up. I just haven't, so. And let's see, I'm not sure if I showed you the pentas last time. They're really pretty. They attract butterflies and the bees as well, all the pollinators. These are just beautiful. I think it's really pretty also as a hanging plant. So if you're looking for something as a hanging plant, notice how they kind of fall over. So pretty. I bought those as a transplant from, I think, Home Depot. And then I have lavender from seed here. That has been interesting. If you've ever, that wasn't in the seed review either, but if you've ever tried growing lavender from seed, I've had a lot of difficulties. So I keep trying. I need to probably build up its roots. I'm not quite sure. But it's working, and I'm just trying to hold on to it for as long as I can. This is alyssum from C2. Now I have some alyssum down here at the bottom, but you know, I just thought in these little bitty plant holders that would be really cute. So again, this alyssum down here is doing great. It continues to put off its little bitty flowers, and they smell amazing as well. So I hope that really takes off. I need to use my Picture This app on these guys, because I'm not quite sure what that is. Maybe some sort of lettuce. I don't remember. But I think that's all, guys. Everything else is just doing really well. But those are the updates that I had for you, and I hope you guys enjoy, and I welcome your feedback. Thanks, guys.